Hello everyone, and welcome back to another week of The War Within, where we will be doing the next wing of LFR in Rhubarb Palace, but there's something that was added that we need to unlock, and I wanted to go ahead and make this to, first of all, show you guys where you can find it, and I guess show you what you need to do in order to progress it and actually unlock the option to have what is being called story mode. And this is something that I have been wanting them to add in here for a long time. It was sort of what I kind of perceived, or let me say this again. To me, LFR was the closest thing we actually had to basically what I would call a story mode difficulty of the raid. Which is that, to me, I know there's lots of people that are going to have various different perceptions and perspectives on this, because raiding in WoW is perceived by a lot of people to be a very sacred thing. Like, they use words like mystique around it, and like they hold it in regard that it's supposed to be held up to the standard for only like the highest level of elite players are only the only ones allowed to participate in it. And the thing is, a lot of the story, for those who are actually invested and care about the story of of the game, a lot of it is in the raid. Like, you don't get the finality of the story of Wrath without doing the raid, because you gotta have to do the raid. Now, they did try to fix this by putting a statue in Dalaran for people to watch the cutscene that plays after you beat the Lich King. But the thing is, it's not just the cutscenes that tell the story. The actual, fights and the dialogue and such in between or even during the fights is also part of the story. Some of the stuff they say during raid fights is literally part of the story. Like, it's part of the plot, or, they reveal things about their motivations and other stuff like that happens during the actual fights. For those of us who actually, pay attention to that. Now, I know a lot of people... The thing is, and this is something that's frustrating, that I have... This is kind of, just my opinion and perspective on it, is that a lot of raiders, if you ask a lot of raiders, a lot of them don't care about the story. I know some guildmates, specifically in my own guild, that they don't really care about the story. Or they just never pay attention, they just play the game. They're not really interested or invested at all, so they don't care. But there's plenty of people who do, and it feels wrong to me that some of the more important story elements would be reserved for only the people who don't care about the story. Does that make sense? Now, I know that's not always the case. I'm just kind of saying that has been the case a lot of the times. Not every time, but still. To me, there's something that this should have been available a long time ago. But it takes Blizzard a while to finally, get to the realization, especially when other games are already doing it. Because the thing is, Star Wars The Old Republic has been doing this for a while. Now, they didn't start off that way. But when they went away from the MMO focus of that game to kind of having it be kind of like a story-focused RPG with other players that you can co-op with, which is basically what Star Wars The Old Republic has become. There's also this thing where you can do things like the instances, or, basically their version of dungeons, with an AI robot that serves as what you want it to be, to basically help you go through those and experience the story of those without the need of other players or having to play at a high level. You can, there's a literal, story mode difficulty for even, the raid versions that, what Star Wars The Old Republic have. Their version of raids, there's, lesser difficulties for people to just experience the story. And that's something I wanted WoW to have for a very long time. So, it's finally here. Now, is it the best it could be? Probably not. I'm sure there are ways I would like for them to make this better, but we'll get there when we get there. First of all, if you want to find Little Webster here, Little Webster, another little, I'm sure, little friend of the Weaver, Webster is located down over here at the core way that you would be heading down to the Ring Deeps. It's basically the area where, Jaina and Thrall and Moira, they're all over here. And Webster's just right over here. Now, from what I understand, in order for you to unlock Webster, you have to finish the max level campaign. Once you finish the max level campaign, Webster should be here. The childlike spider presents you with a sealed scroll. The sealed letter bears the markings of the Vizier. The balance of power is shifting in Aj Kahet. The Queen grows more unstable by the day, and I fear that we must act before our opportunity to stop her slips from our grasp. Meet me at the Royal Apothecary when you receive this letter. That's from the Vizier. Now I forgot to do this. Let me double check my audio. There we go. I had my music turned up because I did Time Walking Black Temple. And anytime I go to the Black Temple, I turn the music up because I just adore the music that plays in the Black Temple raid. If you're wondering, what did I get from that? Well, I got this. Not the best thing I could have gotten from that raid in terms of the quest, the weekly quest. You get to defeat Illidan and turn in the quest. I'm up to 605 now, by the way. I'll be honest, if there was anything I really wanted to get from that raid, if I was going to have to get a trinket, rather than this one, I would have rather gotten this one. Because this seems... Shadow Moon Insignia, to me, seems more like a tank trinket. It increases your current maximum health for 20 seconds. That feels more like a tank trinket, Whereas Madness the Betrayer, your attacks have a chance to increase your critical strike by 2,000 for 10 seconds. Plus lots of agility. That feels more appropriate for Havoc, but whatever. It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's just not the way the dice rolled for me. I'm sure my alts will get some better stuff. Plus, I also have to have some alts level, which, by the way, this is another good week to level alts to 80, especially if you already have the Warband Mentor buff, because if you look at Time Walking Dungeons, by the way, like, this would give, I think I saw in my Druid, it gave about 64,000 XP. The Time Walking Dungeons gave about 100,000. So if you're going to level, go ahead and use Time Walking Dungeons, because not only will you get tons of XP out of it, but you will also have it fill up your Great Vault slots, because where your alts will have these ready to pick up when they are max level and the next reset, because doing Time Walking Dungeons contributes to the vault. So that's something I personally recommend.
Only the finest for you.
I think at some point I'm going to come back and get some of these bundles, but anyways. I'm doing decently on my renown. As you can see, I've gotten everyone to at least 12. Severed up to 14. Halifal to 18. By the way, whoops. Where is it? There it is. I got it! I got Belladar's spawn! Woo! In fact, hold on. There we go. Hello, Nizrek. Oh my goodness, the pheromones in here. Woo. Oh my. Oh my, that smell.
Ah, good. I was getting bored.
Ooh, based on how it smells in here, I feel like you guys are having a good time in here. I would have rather sent my personal attendant to fetch you, but the situation demands the utmost discretion.
Ta-ta.
Queen Ansurek has been busy since the assassination attempt.
Her grip is tightening on Ashkahet, and her ever-loyal nobles attend to her darkest whims. On behest of the Queen, her two most loyal nobles, Skynspinner Takaj and Anubarash, have locked down the Umbral Bazaar. Takaj's insufferable propaganda machinations and Anubarash's increased military presence have painted a clear picture. Ascend or die. I need you to go to the Umbral Bazaar and disrupt their hold.
Do stop by again.
Disruption is the key to loosening the Queen's hold on Ashkahet. What better place to start than the heart of the city?
I'm gonna go ahead and stay in my single target build for the time being. Usually I would swap to my AoE build, but I also need to practice my single target build. For a new Ashkahet, a strong Ashkahet, the Queen's Ashkahet. Oh, also, hold on. This is a great toy that you can have because when you use it, you can see the radius of the detection of the guards. Their detection radius. And once you get this toy, you can just kind of use it whenever you want. And it's, you know, great for not just your one character, but you can use it on all your characters. Once you get it once, you can use it whenever you want. So if you want to make sure that you are not going to be seen by the guards, I definitely recommend grabbing that toy. I think it's about, what was it, like 1100 Kej? Which honestly is not a lot. It's very small compared to what you're going to be getting. Like, as you can see, I already have over 9,000. Actually, I had over 10,000, but I spent it on a couple things. And when you pick the Vizier as the one you want to make a pact with for the week, you actually get 10% more Kej from everything during that week. So if you want to focus on farming Kej, I would say go ahead and pick the Vizier, pick Nezrek as your pact for the week, and then focus on that so you can get a whole bunch more Kej. There's also the option, and you can unlock this as well, if you have a ton of resonance crystals, you can actually trade those for Kej, and vice versa. So I like that they are adding these options of, oh, hey, you want this, but you have a bunch of this? Well, you can trade it for this. You know? Of course, some of these are right in the presence of guards. Go, weave rats, go! Well, this one's going to be a little awkward, but let's see if I can get the others without having to get that one near that guard. This is, of course, an area that a lot of players are going to be because there's a lot of trainers and such here that provide some kind of important stuff. Like extra patterns, plans. There's a number of things. I had to come back to this guy over here because, of course, you guys know I'm a skinner and leather worker.
Here I am.
To be able to try and, I got this in case any of my alchemist guildmates. Also, this is one of those guys where you can trade a bunch of these for this and such, so that's going to help me out. I'll eventually have to get those other patterns later if I actually want to up my skinning accessories. The problem is, anytime you want to get one of those or make one of those, it's going to cost you 300 acuity. And right now, acuity is so hard to come by. It's a very valuable resource right now. You have to be, wise in how you spend your acuity. Because it's a very, at least for right now, it's a very finite resource. Very valuable resource. Alright. A descendant has run amok in the bazaar and smashed my propaganda projectors. Your job, Anubarash, is for your soldiers to keep the peace.
Bah! Don't blame me for your failings to placate the citizens, Skin Spinner. Perhaps you aren't as persuasive as you think. Quiet, both of you. The Queen expects results, not excuses. Do your jobs, or we will find someone who will.
By the way, those two, just as a reminder, are the second to last fight in this raid. The Silken Court. There is Anubarash and Takaj. And I will, of course, talk about the fight with the two of them when we get there, because holy moly, that fight.
I've been waiting for you.
The Queen's grip loosens, and Skyne Spinner Takaj and Anubarash look worse in her eyes. 2 flies, 1 thread.
That's definitely something that a spider or a Nerubian would say.
Watch where you wander.
Distressing news comes from the burrows. A sinister plan is unfolding in the gutters below. Citizens of the ward have been disappearing at an alarming rate. Skyne Spinner Takaj and Anubarash have all the subtlety of a hammer. I doubt it is their work. This is the hand of someone more subtle. I have a contact in the burrows. His name is Gutusul. Meet with him in the burrows and find out what is going on down below.
Stay silent. Stay safe.
Just picture yourself just kind of standing above this and imagining what that must feel and smell like. All these pheromones just like flooding the room and your senses and nostrils and just, whoa, oh my goodness. The lower reaches. Really? Hello?
What brought you here?
It's about time that someone showed up to help. You're the one that the Vizier sent, yes?
As the Queen wills.
The Vizier no doubt filled you in on some of the details. Citizens in the burrows are missing. That much you know. But whispers on the wind tell a bigger story. Our citizens are being taken to the transformatory and never returned. We must stop this at all costs. More have been taken, but it's not too late for them yet. They are still being kept in the burrows. Find them and free them.
For Azkahet.
These abductors are rounding up citizens, and no one in the burrows can stop them. I think it is about time that somebody did something. They stalk the burrows thinking that they are unseen, but I can see them. We can all see them. It's just that nobody here can oppose them. And that is where you come in. Hunt these abductors down and show them who is really the prey.
We shall rise.
There you are.
I need a target.
I'll head to the inn. I do not wish to be alone. Anything but that.
Yeah, I imagine that's not a fun feeling. Nah. I can do those another time, off camera. The reason I want to do this now is because doing this quest... The abductors came from nowhere. I didn't think that the rumors were true. If you do this quest, as in, like, the final quest to kill Ansurek, you're actually going to get an enchanted crest. Which is what you get. Now, to clarify, when I say an enchanted crest, I mean the heroic version. As in the one that you would get for, turning a number of crests that you get for defeating... For converting these. A Ruined Harbinger crest, which is what you get from doing the heroic raid, or Mythic Dungeons 4 to 8. You need 45 of these to make an enchanted crest. An enchanted rune crest. Well, apparently when you do the story mode quest to defeat Ansurek, you get an enchanted crest as part of the reward for the quest. Which, considering that later tonight my guild and I are raiding, I would like to get this crest and use it in preparation for the raid later tonight. I'm heading back to the inn where it's safe. Oh, by the way, there were some hotfix changes that happened yesterday. Some buffs and nerfs for classes and such. The funny thing is, for Havoc, we didn't get either. What we got were a few fixes. Apparently, I-Beam was supposed to benefit from a few different things, and it wasn't. So now, apparently, my I-Beam is just going to be doing more damage because they fixed a few bugs.
Are you lost in the dark?
Now, to clarify, the bugs involved, it was supposed to do damage beyond 5 targets. It was only doing beyond 1 target, so that's been fixed. It was supposed to benefit from this. It wasn't. And it was also supposed to benefit from this, which it wasn't. Now, I'm not using this. It's not part of my single target build, even though I do kind of wish it was, because 30% more damage on I-Beam is nice. But then again, the single target build is not about I-Beam. So, you know, it's once again a Essence Break inertia build. This is the current top single target build for Felscard. I should clarify, there is a single target build for Havoc that involves Aldraki. It's a low mover build, but if you want to stick with Felscard, which right now it is recommended to go ahead and stick with Felscard, since now it's doing a lot more damage, including single target damage, then this is the build that's recommended, which includes improved Chaos Strike and such. Keep in mind, I don't have my tier set yet. I only have one tier piece, and it's this right here. As you can see, when I get more tier pieces, I will have a massive damage spike, because I will be able to do 20% more damage with Blade Dance, and Chaos Strike will deal 12%. It actually was 20, but they nerfed it. 12% more damage, and has a chance to reset the cooldown of Blade Dance and reduce its Fury cost. So once I get my tier set, I will be able to do even more damage. So,
state your purpose.
The citizens of the boroughs are in your debt. Good work.
We've protected.
I hope they squirmed in their last moments. I have no sympathy for those that turn on their own.
Kahet is confirmed.
While you have been out, I've been keeping busy as well. Your exploits in the burrows drew the attention of someone much higher up, a strange being wrapped in bandages, with a scent like despair. Fortunately, this unusual monster is paying a visit all the way down in the burrows to find out why their abductors are missing. Now is our chance to strike and take down this whole operation. Abductor Arzda, the leader of the abductors who have been terrorizing the citizens of the burrows, a non-native of Ashkahet, whose purpose is as shrouded as their appearance. He looks like an ethereal. But he could just be another ascended. Just happens to look like a possible ethereal.
Watch where you wander.
Also, can I just say, I love that they are kind of going with a Protoss vibe for the Ascended. Because when you look at some of the bosses, like when we saw Sikran, like, yeah, he does have 4 arms. But also, when you look at the princess, here, the Nexus Princess, Kai Veza, which looks like the Abductor, doesn't she? But look at her weapons. So first of all, that's my Biss weapon right there, the Void Reaper's Warp Blade, which, yes, it looks just like her weapon, which I'm just looking at this, I'm like, am I getting a Protoss Psy Blade? Like, am I getting Zeratul blade? Because that would be awesome. Or if I'm dual wielding this, then I look like Artanis in Legacy of the Void. I'm like, yes, please. Yes. So, needless to say, I am very, very hopeful that she is going to drop that weapon tonight. If we reach her tonight, hopefully we will. Oh, speaking of which, there's the princess. Who said, "You will find out what is happening to your abductors in the burrows. Queen Ansarek grows more volatile by the day." "I will not fail, princess." Sure. Looks like you failed.
Excellent. Time
The word of your exploits has reached all the way up here. A sign of a good job.
Ashkahet will.
So here's where we get the quest.
Tightening her grip on the citizens is something that I expected of the Queen, but forcefully ascending the population of the boroughs is too far. Queen Ansarek has fallen far greater than I ever expected. I can't sit idly by and watch her lead our people to ruin. The time is now. We must kill Queen Ansarek and lead the people to a brighter future. Otherwise, who knows how far she will fall. Ansarek's rule is a dark stain on the history of Azj-Kahet. Her rule has been marked with a tightening grasp of the populace and an uneasy alliance with Xal'atath. She grows increasingly paranoid and sequestered herself in Nurubar Palace. So for doing this quest, we will get a massive amount of rep with the Vizier. We will get 250 Valor Stones, another 15 for doing so, and here's what I was talking about, the Enchanted Ruined Harbinger Crest, which will allow you to get a 619 weapon if you have find a crafter that can be able to actually do that.
Don't ruin my cover.
So now you see that there is an option to enter the raid in story mode. Which I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Is the story mode NPC over here? I think it is. So there's the raid entrance. That's the palace. So it looks like the story mode NPC might be over here. Aha. Kriz the Loyal.
Oh, hello.
Ah, the Vizier sent word that you need to be smuggled into Rubar Palace. Oh, don't worry. He already paid up front. I'll get you right in. The squeeze is a bit tight, and I hope you don't mind a little dirt.
So, before we do that, though, we're going to cut it off here. When we come back, we will be doing the next wing of LFR, which will feature Rashanan, Brood Twister Ovanax, and Nexus Princess Kaiveza. Stay tuned!